You just spoke about Sean. How did you guys meet?
We met at the Coogee Pavilion, so that old chestnut.
Right.
Yes. So I was there with some girlfriends actually, and we'd just been to I wasn't actually going to go. I'd just finished news and gotten off air, and the taxi wasn't there, and I was sitting in my car about to go, and then I'd rung my girlfriend and said, I'm not coming, you girls have been out all day, and I'm just, Anyway, then the taxi arrived, and my friend Ash was like, no, come. So I got out of the car and went, and then he was pretty much the same. He wasn't going to go, but then his friend kind of convinced him, and he was just out with another mate. And we walked in, and then I get really like.
I know, look at you. Everything about you changed, like your demeanour, everything.
I know. I'm now like, it's bizarre, isn't it? But no, I saw him, and he's quite tall, and I just saw him, and I was like, oh, he's really gorgeous. And I'd broken up with, a fairly long-term partner about probably four months or something before, and that had been a pretty horrible breakup. So I kind of wasn't really interested in anything else. I was just, but yeah, I saw him, and he kind of looked over and he smiled, and I was like, and he had these like cute dimples, and anyway, but then he kind of just.
Did he go and talk to you first?
Well, no, soft, very soft, but he kept looking over, and I was making it. You know how you've got to give them enough because men are more insecure than women. So I was like, really subtle. Anyway, he still didn't come over, so a girlfriend went over to the bar to get drinks, and then he was at the bar, and then I think she asked him to help carry the drinks or something. Then he came over, and it kind of went from there. But he's lovely, and he's a bit older than me, so he's 40. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of, it feels weird because I've got to remember I'm being filmed now. But no, I'll still. He's really lovely, and he makes me better, and he makes me. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's really embarrassing.
No, it's not at all.
No, it's just because, as you know, with all he makes me just feel better about myself, and I can't believe I'm getting emotional.
Beautiful. Now you make me cry.
No, I guess when you're in our industry as well, it can be very insecure and very lonely. Yeah. And he's just I'm very lucky.
Oh my God, and he's very lucky too. You beautiful thing,
my
God.
No, he's beautiful, and he's normal. He's just nice, and he's normal. And
do you love that he's not connected to your world at all?
He's not connected at all. He's he's a policeman, so he's got got a great job, and he's really successful in doing that. But he just he just makes me feel really special, and it's nice to come home to someone who's he's not even Logie's, it's not his world, and he didn't, he said to me, if it means something to you, of course I'll come, but otherwise, he's like, and I love that about him, that he's doesn't want to come to all the events, and, I'm so private about stuff when it comes to, just my family and friends and stuff, that it's just, he's just beautiful. He's really good for me. He makes me, I'm healthier, I eat better, I go on the treadmill, mind you, only for about 5 minutes walking.
Is he really
it's on
into
incline
fitness?
though. Well, he is, but he hasn't been to the gym recently. We've been a bit cheeky, but he generally, he's quite fit. He looks, he's gorgeous.
Do you work out together?
No, not really. We're going to start. Not together, but we keep saying we've got to join the gym. But no, I do like 3 kilo dumbbells for about 3 minutes, and then a 5-minute walk on the treadmill.
Yeah, beautiful.
But no, we're not one of those.
When I see couples work out together, and apparently Khloe Kardashian said that it's quite a romantic, intimate thing to do.
Yeah, couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest.
But when I see couples jog and stuff, I'm like, don't do that, guys.
Even like when I'm doing like the dumbbells in front of the TV, like the only thing I'll say is, can you get out of the way of the TV because I'm trying to watch the football? I'm like, why don't you give me technique advice? I'm like, he's like, they're 3 kilos. You don't need technique advice. But no, I'm very, If he kind of remember going on a date with this guy who like took me to this lovely restaurant, this is years and years and years ago, and he like ordered a sparkling water. And I was kind of like, and then I think salad dressing on the side. And I'm like, I'm all for like each to their own, whatever makes you happy. But unless you can have a beer and a bloody Parmigiana,
that's boring.
Yeah, I just know, and like, I just know it wouldn't work for me because I love food, I love wine, I love all of that.
Isn't that funny that that's really unattractive of a guy to order a salad with salad dressing on the side?
On the side. I'm like, salad, like, where are the carbs for starters? I'm not really a salad girl. But I'm trying to be healthier and trying to be better. But I kind of that was a big off-putting thing for me. So I love someone who can just indulge and, because that's what life's about.
Totally. Yeah. You are an incredible ambassador for Bowel Cancer Australia, and you got into that role because you experienced it firsthand with your family, your beautiful older sister, who's so young, and you automatically go, too young.
Too young.
For that won't happen. Oh no, you know, talk me through when you found out that your sister was diagnosed with bowel cancer.
Yeah, well, she'd had a rough run. She's when she was 26, she lost her little girl Emily. So she basically carried Emily full term and went into labour in Swan Hill Hospital, which is a little town. She's a school teacher, and yeah, I remember I was working at Wagga at Wynn at the time, and Dad called me and said, you know, this is kind of the start of it, and said, you know, Sarah's lost Emily, and it was horrendous, and you know, we all went, and I remember people saying to me at the time, oh, but thank God that, you know, she wasn't like 2 or 3 years old, because that just would have been really hard. And I say to people who say that to me, if you were at the funeral where that little girl's casket, you know, and my big sister got up and said, Mummy's so sorry that she couldn't save you, and Mummy loves you, and Mummy will see you soon. The bond that, and I don't know it because I don't have children, but the bond that a mother forms with a child over that 9 months, as my sister tells me, you cannot, you know, the pain that she felt, you cannot say is any less than someone who lost a, you know, a 1-year-old or a 6-month-old. So I used to get really frustrated with that. Not that anyone means any malice by it, but yeah, so that was, you know, and it took, you know, we all wanted Says to you know, move back to Canberra where we could support her, but Emily's buried in Swan Hill, so she goes to her grave every day and, you know, visits. It's her little girl, you know, so she'll never leave her. So you think, you know, and it's been 7 years now, so you kind of think that just shows you, you know, that. So she'd had a rough trot, and that's, you know, anyway, so a couple of years after that, she got pregnant again, which was beautiful, and, you know, it was really hard because she, you know, obviously it brought back a lot, and she was, the entire pregnancy, she was terrified because of what had happened with Emily, and anyway, she started to not feel well during the pregnancy, and as any woman would do, they'd think, oh, it's just a side effect of the pregnancy, or, you know, she attributed it to things like maybe my diets, you know, I should cut gluten out. She went to doctors and they said, oh, just eat less bread and I'll do all this kind of stuff. Anyway, she gave birth to Angus, and then she was not okay. And Angus is beautiful, healthy, this gorgeous little boy. She already had Sophie before Emily, so Sophie was kind of 5 at this stage. And she, went in, gave birth, and then they said something's not right. And then they, I remember sitting in the hospital with her, and the doctor came in and said, we've got the test results back, and it's stage 3/4 bowel cancer, which is pretty bad. And it's just mind-numbing, you know.
Of course.
Did I get that saying mind-numbing? I didn't do your skin
so.
mind-numbing. Anyway.
I know
And it was, but she was just, you know, amazing. I've never, you know, I fell apart, my mum fell apart, everyone just kind of, but she was the one that was just so strong and so resilient throughout this whole thing, and, you know, just incredible. And what made her sad, I think, you know, she couldn't hold Angus for 6 months, you know, because she had her bowel removed, then she was getting chemo, radiotherapy, all this stuff.
And how old was Angus at this stage?
Angus was just born, so a month or something when all this was happening, and Sophie was, you know,
as if this woman hadn't been through one.
No, exactly. So then she was kind of
one lifetime, then to deal with this.
And I remember when I did, this is what killed me when I did, you know, the story with her years after, because she didn't tell us how scared she was at the time, because she was more concerned about us being okay. But she said to me when I sat down with her a couple of years ago, she said, you know, at the time, she said, I thought, you know, I've got these 2 beautiful children who I love and I would never want to leave, but she said if it's my time, then at least I'll be with Emily. And she said, you know, they'll have their dad. And she said, at least I can go and be with my other baby, and like, she won't be alone. And I just, you know, the fact that she was thinking that, and couldn't communicate that to us, because, you know, she would never even say that she was scared, or that she'd even contemplated that it might not work out. And you just think she went through all that alone because she didn't want us to be sad, or to think that she was, because it's almost worse than like what I got upset about was thinking about her being scared and upset more than anything else. And so she was so conscious of that. So she hid all that throughout. But that's the thing, I sit here and I cry, and then I'm like, well, God, we are the luckiest people in the world, because, you know, she has a colostomy bag, and she's fine now. So that's why people say, oh, it's amazing, all the stuff you do to raise awareness. I'm like, if she hadn't have lived, I don't know if I would be strong enough. You know,
She's a miracle.
But she's, you know, she's alive. So it's almost my God-given duty, I think, now to use every platform I can to spread the message and to save other lives. And, you know, a young girl, I went to a funeral yesterday for a 27-year-old who discovered she had bowel cancer after watching our story, and her dad contacted me, and I then contacted her, and we you know, spoke once a week on the phone throughout her treatment, and she passed away last week, and went to her funeral, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, she is no more worthy, you know. My sister is a beautiful person, and this girl was, and my sister's no more worthy of living than she is, you know. And to see her dad get up there, and her dad said the most beautiful thing. He said, you know, in this life, he said, I want to talk about Katie, but I can't, because he said, I just won't be able to. He said, but I read this the other day. He said, it's an ancient Indian saying, and it says that in this life, you die twice. He said, you die when you take your last breath, and then you die when people stop saying your name and stop talking about you. And he said, please, don't let her die twice. Like, talk about her, love her. And I just thought that's just so beautiful. And they got an extra 12 months with her because they saw the story and they got tested, and it's so curable if you find it. So, you know, that's, as I was saying earlier, with skin cancer, we grow up, slip, slop, slap. With smoking, you know, we grow up and we get told, don't smoke, you'll get lung cancer. With breast cancer, we get told from a young age, check your breasts, do breast tests. No one talks about bowel cancer because it's gross. It's poo, it's bums. You don't go for coffee with your girlfriend and say, my bowel movements haven't been regular this week. So people have the symptoms but have no fucking idea what they mean. They say, oh, I'll go off wheat, or I'm just going through a phase, I need more fibre. You know, but the more awareness we raise, the more people actually think, actually maybe, because 98% of people can be cured. That's so high. If
more
it's
people
found,
can be cured from it as well than will pass away from it.
Totally,
So
and that's why the stats are in everyone's favour. All we need is for people to just think maybe, and you know what, it's probably not. 99% of cases it won't be, but get tested and eliminate
sometimes
that.
you probably go, oh, it's a bit dramatic to, you know.
Totally, and we're all guilty of it.
Yeah,
of saying, oh, I don't want to be one of those people that, you know, I hurt my finger and I think I've got, you know, cancer, but it's just eliminate the possibility so that not only you but your family, you know. So it's I'm really passionate about that.
And you are doing such an incredible job. And I told you that my mum has bowel cancer, and she got it about 4 years ago now, about maybe 3.5 years ago. And she was just having tummy pains, and she ignored it. And then got...
As we're all guilty of.
Yeah, totally. And also you don't, you know, she looks back now and kicks herself, why didn't I check it earlier, you know, the what ifs. And and then we got it taken out, and he's like, it's all clear. I got clear margins, and then it came back and went to her liver and her lung. And her delivering that news on, it was Boxing Day a couple of years ago. And it was more scary then than the first time. The first time was kind of like, you know, I've got cancer, but it's gone. It's not really. And I just remember going, my mum's going to die. My mum's going to die. And I remember getting up from mum telling me, I said, I just need a minute. And I walked to the bathroom and I couldn't breathe. That's when I had a panic attack. And I'm like, I can't live here without my mum. Like, I don't exist without my mum, you know? And then we got rid of it again. It was like, oh my God, for 2 years she was clear. And it's come back on her lung. But they're microscopic. The doctor's like, it's like pinheads. They're like pinheads on your lung.
That's common as well, to come like tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
So they'll fight that.
And she's having fortnightly chemo, and our doctor is incredible. Our oncologist is so incredible.
But you know, if they've done more cancer twice before and she's come out clear, her body responds to treatment. That is amazing.
She's amazing.
She is obviously amazing. And she, you know, if it's tiny little things just in her lung, they will beat that.
Yeah, and we're keeping it at bay, and he's like, let's think of this.
Because you know what, they will be honest with you. The one thing I've found with these surgeons and doctors, it is not in their interest to give you, with Katie, they didn't give her false hope. Probably to her, she wanted them to, and they wouldn't. If your doctor is saying that to you, darling, that is fucking amazing.
And every time we go in there, we hold our breath and that anxiety every 3 month scan. But he's like, think of it like diabetes, or rheumatoid arthritis, or something. Like, people, you've got to, if you don't treat that, you're going to die with diabetes. So he's like, we're treating it, and this is your thing. We're going to look at it like that. And every fortnight, my mum goes to chemo, and she gets anxiety around that. But he's working on that, and she's so strong. But like your sister, you know, the other day she said to me, I was just in the shower going, why me? And I hate the thought of my mum doing that on her own.
That's what actually kills you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is thinking about them in pain and thinking about, but you know what, they're the most, it's so bizarre that it happens to the most, because I'm lucky in that if anything happened to her or my mum or my dad, like I just wouldn't, I could not, I guess we all don't know what we're capable of, but I would just fall to, I just could not even fathom it.
Yeah.
But they are just, you know, the people that, you know, if you believe in God or whatever, that, you know, these fights to are just the most incredible people.
Oh my God,
and
so
God,
incredible.
we're fortunate. Yeah.
You know what, like I was saying, speaking to Stace, who works with us here on Show and Tell last night, she was just saying how in love her parents are.
Oh,
and
so
how
beautiful, I love
just
it.
the best, you know, and we're going how gorgeous it is, but then it crosses over to going, you get scared when there's when they're so in love, and that's what I think. Like with my mum, she's getting older, like she's still fucking amazing, but I'm like, oh shit, man, we're all going to die. Like we're just destined for so much pain. At some point.
And it terrified. Like when I was little, I remember used to, like 8 or 9 years old, I'd have this. I went through the stage where I obviously learnt about death and mortality, and going, my mum and dad are going to die one day. My mum and dad are going to die, and even like I have to sometimes I can't do it. Even when my granny says, oh darling, when I'm gone, I'm like, Granny, don't. I cannot deal with it. I can deal with some shit, but people dying that I love.
I don't care about myself dying.
Me
I
neither.
never think about that.
The only thing I would be upset about is that my mum and dad and other people would be hurt, which is really quite weird. But yeah, I don't care about that. It's more just other people
around you. Sometimes it cripples me. Sometimes at night I'll be just to my partner saying, I'm like, life's really scary. And he's like thinking about something else, and I'm just
playing football that night. Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it, how sometimes our minds work in that. But it's, you know, but then I guess you just have to embrace it, and that's why you wake up and you just think, we're so lucky. Totally. And that's why even with Sarah, I get sad that she's got a colostomy bag and she can't wear a nice dress. Yeah. And it makes me sad. I'm like, you're 33, you should feel beautiful, but then I just think, you know what?
You're alive.
You're alive, and we're so lucky.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
I first met you at Cosmo Fun Fearless Awards.
Yes.
And then when you accepted your award, I'm like, this girl's amazing. You were so gorgeous, because I'm like, and I think I called you and I'm like, Erin Molan's amazing. She's a bogan. She's like us. Like, I loved it.
I love it.
And when you were up there, you spoke about how Delta Goodrum really helped you out when you were getting online trolled quite a lot. Yeah. So how did that come about?
It was she came on the footy show probably 2 or 3 years ago, and that's when I met her, and she's just such a lovely, lovely girl. Anyone who's met her will say the exact same thing, and she's as lovely to the cleaner as she is to, you know, the boss of Sony or to any other superstar. She's a really lovely girl, and I remember, you know, I'd read articles about her copying it quite a bit online, and, you know, I think it was actually there'd been something, I'm trying to think what there was something that anyway, I'd worn something on the footy show or something, you know, of course it was to do with how I looked, not with anything else. And I'd just gotten this barrage of just horrific, really nasty comments. And I'd kind of gotten over taking it personally, but I'd made some comment to my boss about it and just said, you know, I'd love them to, you know, why don't they have a go at Daryl's suit or fucking, you know, Bo's tie or something. And then he'd had a meeting with Delta that day and had just mentioned, oh, Erin's copying a bit of shit. Anyway, and then I was driving to the airport and this number came, you know, her number came up and she was calling me, and I was still like fangirl, because still in my head I'm like this nobody who, I'm like, oh my God, I used to watch your Neighbours, like, wow. And like I do get excited by some people.
Anyway, totally. I still do by like Neighbours people and stuff. Sometimes I'm like, oh, she's on Neighbours.
Do you remember Selena from Home and Away? Yeah. She used to wear like the little skirts. I used to like Selena. And Dita Brummer. She wore the Tencel wrap skirts.
And her name's so familiar.
Selena.
And it was the time of like Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa George and Angel and Dita.
Did you used to do the Neighbours Home and Away combo?
Well, I never really watched Neighbours. I don't think Mum and Dad let me, but Home and Away I loved, and I had Dita Brummer was my man crush. Had him on my wall, and then he got caught with drugs, and Mum made me take down all posters. I remember it taking them down. I was like, not really understanding what was wrong with drugs or what they even were, but yeah.
That is so good.
He's so hot. But yeah, so Delta rang, and she was just beautiful, and she spent probably 40 minutes on the phone with me. And we'd only kind of met on the show, and, you know, we weren't best mates, and, you know, and she said this thing to me that, you know, because I get, as you know, we've spoken about all the arseholes, but I tell you what I do get, and that is some of the most amazing, beautiful, kind, generous feedback in the world from people, and I get a lot of it, and that's so lovely, and we don't talk often enough about, you know, the people that write in or that will, you know, write on my Instagram lovely, nice things, and I get way more good feedback than I get bad, which is really nice. And she just said that, you know, the way she sees it, in the street, no one will ever walk up to her and say, you're really annoying on The Voice, or you're ugly, or you're crap, or you're shit. She said, everyone on the street will come up to her and say, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're so kind, I love you on The Voice, you're this and you're that. And she's like, it's those people that you need to listen to. And she's so true, because when I'm out and about, people say the most lovely things. And she said, you know, it's the people who are sitting at home on computers and trolling behind, you know, usually, you know, just people who just keyboard warriors. And she, you know, and that just made me think. And I thought, actually, every person, no one has ever come up to me in the street and said something nasty, ever, to my face. It's always been, I thought, actually, you know what? So that will now be my, you know, I will, if it's online, that's good, then I'll take it. Oh, hell yeah. Ain't nobody got time for not taking it. But if it's online bad, no. And just the fact that she took that time out, having not known me so well, to ring me up and just to make me feel good. She spent 40 minutes just basically making me feel good about myself. And I just thought, that is genuinely lovely. And I'm not a superstar, and I'm not someone that can give her a bloody opportunity or someone that she can get something out of. And at that event we went to, when she got up and spoke about women supporting women, and I saw a couple of women, and I won't, you know, roll their eyes, you know, at the table, kind of, you know, give these kind of glances, and not, I don't even think, with no malice or, you know, but just because, you know, it is quite a foreign concept in a lot of ways. And I thought, actually, no, it's easier to say that, but she practices what she preaches. So that's why I felt passionate about actually getting up there and just saying, you know, giving a little example of Delta's not actually just getting up and saying what she thinks, you know, you guys want to hear. She genuinely is that person, and she'd reached out to me, having not known me and not really needing anything from me. And I always remember that you know, and I try, you know, even with Beck Madden, you know, I rang her before she went on the show, and I now, any opportunity I can to make someone feel good or better, or support someone, particularly women, you know, I'll take, because I now know how it feels to be supported, and it's lovely.
Means that bit much more. I don't know if it does to you, but to me, when I have somebody, a female who's not that connected to you, support you in some way, means more. So much more than if it was a good friend or
you're right.
Because it's like, okay, you've kind of been there, and for you just to do that, like, that's a beautiful thing to do.
It was lovely. But then it's the same with people like, you know, Lisa Wilkinson is so good with me in that way, and I know that I can go to... And she adores you. She's been on the couch and she's like, oh God, she's so gorgeous. I love her. She is so amazing, and she's someone, in fact, she's the only one that I clicked on and looked at this before I came, right? And I saw a bit of her where she was... I've watched every week, and I'm probably your biggest fan. In fact, all the data that I'm big...
No, keep going.
Oh, don't you worry. From now that I just was bitter you hadn't used me, but now that I'm on, darling, I'll be watching every week. But I didn't know much about it, and I saw where she was talking about the substance of being a journalist first, and how that's what's important, and I just love that about her, because God, she looks amazing, and she's beautiful, and she's got this common touch, but this real elegance, and she's such a wonderful woman. But what's important to her is the journalism and the integrity of what she does, and standing up for what she believes in. And she's someone that I look up to so much. And same as, you know, Sylvia, I think Sylvia is just doing such a wonderful job on that show as well. And there's so many, Georgie Gardner, and so many women at our network, Tracy Grimshaw, that I can look up to and I respect so much. And, you know, they all look gorgeous with hair and makeup and get to wear nice things on air, but it's a substance that... And it's funny, isn't it? Because what I value in people, like, once I leave this industry, all I want people to say about me is not that I had good hair or that I wore nice clothes, and not even so much that I was a good journalist, but that'd be nice if they said that. But if people say she was a nice person and she was nice to everyone and she was just nice, then that's all I care about. And that's, you know, it's funny though, because what I value in other people is how they treat people and their substance and their personalities. Whereas we're so hard on ourselves when it comes to looks and all that kind of, you know, all right, we're so judgmental, but I couldn't give a flying caboodle what anyone else looks like, or, you know, it's just...
And you don't remember you know, when you meet, like when we met Lisa Wilkinson, we were fangirling big time.
Yeah, that would have probably been embarrassing for you.
It was so embarrassing.
Just like you were fangirling with me.
Totally, exactly.
Same level.
Exactly like that. But she, you know, and just, there's not, you don't remember, I don't remember what she was wearing. You don't remember anything about that. When the things you worry about, it's like, I just remember her, like her hug was full of love.
Beautiful. You know? She does that, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She actually, and she makes you feel like you're the only person in the world, and she's engaging, and she makes you feel special, and it's, you know, it's not easy to do, and particularly now, well, where you constantly, the amount of conversations I have with people in our industry who are looking for someone maybe more important than me, that are,
you know, eyes?
Oh, I hate it. It's like, I just want to stop and be like, oi, dipshit.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly fond of you either.
No.
But just be polite.
So
and if you want to go talk to someone
rude.
else, go. I know it is.
Yeah.
It is. So I'm very much when I'm, but yeah, she's wonderful. Very lucky.
In 3 words, describe what your first kiss was like.
Feral, slobby or slobbery? Slobbery.
Slobbery.
Feral, slobbery, and fucking awkward.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The best. And you were 17.
Yeah. Well, I was 17. Don't know how old he was.
Yeah.
I hope he was 17.
Nudist or never nude?
Nudist or never nude?
Yeah.
In what way?
Do you, in your house, are you always nude?
Yeah,
always have
I'm
your
pretty
clothes on?
much a nudie.
Are you?
Yeah, I wear undies usually,
Yeah.
but I'll run around in the house just in undies.
Yeah.
I do my exercise regime. It's very intense. Get your notebooks out if you want to emulate. I do 5 minutes on the treadmill, incline of 8 walking.
Do you have one in your house?
Yeah, and then I
Wow.
do thanks Rebel Sport, and then I do 3 kilogram dumbbells, 3 sets of this, and then that, and I do it nude on the treadmill.
Oh, nude?
I've just started
Any
combining.
undies?
Yeah, just undies.
Oh, thank God.
We're kind of nude. We can't
What about
sweat
your
with that.
boobs? Like when
Yeah,
you're
they just kind
walking?
of just hang. They don't really hang. They sit.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's pretty intense. But then, of course, if I hear the door opening and Sean's coming home, then I start running. Oh, hey, babe, hey. He's like, I heard you. I heard the volume go up on the thing, the speed increase. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
that is so
I'm very
funny.
much a.
That's such a
Yeah.
good visual. You just in your
Oh,
undies.
do
you have
I was
shoes
actually
on?
thinking, no, I don't wear shoes. I do it barefoot.
love
And actually
it.
there is the window. I often think if some of the lovely paparazzi who like to follow me around other areas actually
Oh my
got there,
God.
that would be your shot, doll.
Oh,
That's your
seriously,
money
that is your money maker.
Seriously.
I love it.
Yeah.
Last time you threw a tantrum or a hissy fit?
Oh God, a really big one was probably a year ago. It was with my ex-boyfriend. Okay, I'll tell it anyway. Why not? He's my ex now anyway. We were at the Hunter Valley, and this just shows how ridiculously weird women I can be. I'm not going to put women in this category.
We're probably all in there.
Yeah,
don't worry.
but I remember I was in the shower, and he came in and he was packing away stuff, and then he grabbed the toothbrush on the bench, and I'd already cleaned my teeth in the shower, and he was like, do you need to clean your teeth yet? And I looked at him and I was like, and that's when I was like, I said, are you trying to say that I need to clean my teeth? Are you trying to say that I'm not good enough? And then it turned into, when you unload the dishwasher, you don't even take out the bottom. And anyway, we had the biggest fight in the world. We left the resort, drove all the way back home, and we were literally about 40 minutes from home, and I looked at him, I'm like, I think I overreacted. Because he just wanted to pack it away, and I thought he was trying to basically say that I wasn't good enough as I am.
Isn't it funny?
And that was the last big tantrum. And I think I was like, I can't believe why we didn't work out.
I know, seriously.
I'm really easygoing.
Yeah, you're a real
I
cat.
actually am. That was a rare moment, but
No,
yeah,
it's
that was
funny. It would've
Isn't it
just
bizarre
been your
though?
mood, though.
It would have been my
Sometimes I'm
mood. And usually I would have
Yeah.
been like, oh yeah, babe, I'm done with that. Just pack it. But it just went into this whole thing. Then it was like, and when you borrowed that $20 from me last year, you never gave it back, you bastard. I'm like,
Did you
whoa.
argue in an American accent too?
No, I just whenever I'm doing any voice or any past event, I go American or Indian.
Do you?
My darling, did you want your toothbrush? No, honey, I am okay. I just go accents. It's really weird.